Is it cross-examine? God, I hope so. I think, damn it, is this just regular examination? I want to be able to see the cross-examination before I leave today.
Thank you, Your Honor. Amber, following the plane ride, what did you do once you arrived, once you landed in L.A.?
I called for a cab.
We get to hear more of her stories, chat.
Picked me up, met me at the private airport, and I left. I got straight off the plane as soon as we touched down. Johnny had been saying what he would do to me once we got on the ground, and I didn't know how long this cycle would last, so I wanted to just...
Story time. Everyone get their little blankies. Cuddle up. Get some popcorn.
Went to a hotel and called my
Now
friends
this is a story.
This is my coping strategy at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, this is live. This is live, yes.
I'm going to ask you to take a look
I'm
at
live, too.
defendant's
We're both live. Are we actually going to have evidence?
Did you reach out to...
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay and bleeding.
Your Honor, I would direct Your Honor's attention to the first one in blue and the third one in blue, and I would say present sense impression and the state of mind at that time.
All right, you want to approach?
Yes.
Already approaching. Wow. Okay, that's 3 approaches. Okay. Yeah, I got it up, chat. I got it up. 4? Was that 4? Damn. All I could say is, okay. By the way, chat. Sure, Amber potentially could win. Just because all that needs to be proved in this trial is the fact that Amber was not the one that defamed Johnny Depp. That's all they have to prove. That's it. So technically, she could win. But even if she wins, there would be a huge uproar in the internet, and Amber will just look like a terrible person still. But she did. I know she is the one who instigated his defamation. But she already admitted to writing the op-ed. Wait, did she? I thought last time or yesterday they were talking about how she didn't. But I don't know. But that's all it's about is the op-ed. I think that's all it's about. But all of this is just like, you know, the extra layers to it. In her opening yesterday? Then why are we doing this trial? I'm being sued by my ex-husband for an op-ed I wrote. I thought it was to prove whether or not she wrote it. Am I confused? I might be confused.
Let's go to...
I just want her to look... I don't know.
Defendant
I just want to see
205.
who is the abuser in this relationship, because it doesn't seem like... I mean, Johnny might have some abuse. I'm not going to say he doesn't have any at all, but...
And this is a communication between you and Rocky Pennington, your best friend, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, this whole trial is confusing. I agree. To be fair, I didn't research too much. I've just been a spectator, so. What now? What now? Oh, by the way, chat. No, I know it's defamation. I know that's what it's about. But by the way, chat, that's psychologist, or I forget what her label was. But she's been in over 50 different trials. And she defended, I think it was R. Kelly. She defended a woman who killed her husband. And basically, psychiatrist, that's what I was thinking of. She's been in 50 different trials, and a lot of them, apparently, she was defending the person who was, like, obviously guilty. So yeah, she does not have the best track record. It depends if they can prove if that op-ed was the reason, though, not necessarily if she wrote it. Oh, is that what it's about? is if that op-ed is the reason why. I mean, yeah. I mean, if an op-ed was wrote and people, a bunch of other companies are like, oh, wow, he's a wife beater. I don't know. We got proof of her being mega abusive, but Depp with every drug on the planet in his veins probably isn't a saint. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is like, I'm sure there is definitely some abuse on his end just by the fact that he's a druggie and an alcoholic. He's opiate addicted. So yeah, there's probably a very likely chance that he has abused her in some way. Physical abuse? I don't know. Yo, C, what's up? Physical abuse? I don't know, man. But we haven't got any proof yet.
So 205 with redactions is in
Yeah, I know. He got thrown off of Pirates and
Thank you, Your Honor.
Grindelwald.
May we publish to the jury? Thank you.
It is.
So Rocky on this is Rocky Pennington, your best friend, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And when did you send this communication to Rocky?
Once I had touched down in LA,
Okay. And you said, I'm not good. What did you mean by that?
that I needed help, that I was scared. I was scared of what had just happened to me.
Box
I was
off
scared
of Pirates of the Caribbean
what was
without
gonna happen
Johnny
to me.
Depp. Dude, it's going to tank so bad.
Scared.
It's
if
going to
I
do
left
so
him, I was scared
bad.
if I didn't, and I needed help. I just needed support. And I didn't feel safe going home. I still had my place in Orange. He had keys.
Is Johnny still doodling? I think so.
I was scared.
Did you text your mother and your father about this incident?
Objection, hearsay.
If you want to,
What, if any, communication did you have with your mother or your father following this incident?
Objection, hearsay.
sustain that objection.
Let's go to
Boom.
defendants 222, and
Being in court is exhausting. Well, yeah.
I suspect we're going to be back up at the
All right, you want
bench
to
on
keep on
this one.
approach? That's fine. Thank you.
What is happening, man? Is all of their questions just not usable at this point? That's 5 approaches. Imagine Johnny Depp takes a picture of what he's drawing and then posts it. Look, she's looking at it too. She's like, damn, Johnny, you're a good artist. Now you see here, that's the guy who's dancing. He's dancing, and I really like when the little doodle guy dances. Wow, Johnny, that's really good. That's right. How did you do that? Yeah, a lot of years of doodling is very good. I do love me a good occasional doodle. That's just what's happening in the background right now. Now I'm drawing Amber Heard shitting on my bed. It's a picture of my kitty cat. He's just drawing dicks.
What, if any, communications did you have with Kate James following the Boston plane incident?
Objection, hearsay.
Hearsay.
Your Honor, if we go to 224,
Okay. 224.
my argument would be business records exception.
I am the one who cleans the poo.
Forward, we can do it.
Dude, oh my God, what is happening? He's doodling the S every kid in middle school did. I bet he is. Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're just trying to build a foundation, but they got nothing. Isn't coloring a form of therapy for those who have anxiety, depression, or PTSD? Yeah, people doodle when they have anxiety. It helps calm their nerves. Chad, I really doubt he's doodling, but still, it would be hilarious if he was. Yeah, let me look up Johnny Depp's drawing. Is that a dragon? What is that shit? Bro, what's he doodling, man? He's got fucking is different colored markers, dude. He's over here with his crayons and markers just doodling a whole thing. Did you bring me my my markers? Yeah, I got all colors, Johnny. All right, I'm just going to be doodling those. He's good. And he's got his mints. Dude, he's vibing. He's vibing right now.
What, if anything, did you do the evening of the 24th of May?
Mommy got me the 124 box.
I reached out to friends and family, asked for support,
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
and surrounded myself with them.
We're about to break it, chat. We're about to break 20.
What, if anything, did you do for Lily Rose's birthday?
That's why we had gone back to LA. Johnny was sick after having passed out on the plane. So I took her to dinner. We went to Benihana's. It was
Relevance? Who cares?
you know, again, put on my smile, took her out, tried to make her feel loved, and
Oh yeah, because
celebrate
Johnny's
her
a bad
birthday.
father. That's another
And
tactic they're
to
using, chat,
fly
is
out
Johnny's a
to
bad
New
father.
York, to go back to New York.
That she had to take care of his
Say about
kid.
Johnny.
I'm going to ask you to now turn to 225.
Did she just say he passed out on the plane, so she went out to dinner?
And, Your Honor, I'm going to be referring
Yeah,
to
I'm
the
kinda-
last two.
I assume
blue
they
spots
landed.
on that page.
You know, I assume they landed, went back to their place, and then she did that.
Mental condition.
It doesn't, it's still hearsay, Your Honor. May
Is
we
it the big
approach-
20? Dude, we're never even going to get to hear anything. Because everything they're doing is hearsay. You know what's funny? When they were examining Johnny Depp, they objected hearsay constantly. And every single time it was overruled. Well, not every single time. There's probably a couple times where it was sustained. But they objected him so fucking much. And it was like, I would say 90% of the time overruled. And maybe there's an abstain here and there, but. Your Honor, stop edging the big 20. Rottenborn stalling. Dude, that is honestly a hilarious name. Mr. Rottenborn. Yeah, then he objected to himself. What does that even mean? So hearsay, it's kind of one of those words where you have to like get used to hearing what it is to understand what it is. It's basically like he said, she said type situation where you're basically saying what someone else said. I feel like that's kind of like the basic synopsis of it. I mean, there's many different. Yeah, it's just one of those things that once you hear what hearsay is, after a while you get used to understanding it. Yeah, I know. It's basically saying what someone else said. Rottenborn sounds like a villain name in a kid's cartoon. Yeah, Rottenborn equals born rotten. It's a name that be too on point for a lawyer in a movie that it seems stupid. Actually, that's right. Yeah, a name that like that for a villain in a movie would just be too stupid. They're approaching again. Yeah. In other words, putting words into another person's mouth. Leading is when the lawyer is leading them to say, yeah, leading is kind of like where they phrase a question in order for them to get that specific answer that they want. You know what I mean? So like instead of saying, so what did they say? You know, instead of saying like, okay, what did Johnny Depp say? Then leading would be like, so Johnny Depp said that he's an alcoholic and he beats you and he's the worst person ever, correct? Like that's leading. You know, leading them to a yes or no situation where you're trying to get them to agree to something that the wording isn't what they want. Where lawyers use like buzzwords to make it sound worse than it is. I could be explaining this very poorly. I hope I'm explaining it good enough for you guys because, you know, I'm not a lawyer, but I was in mock trial, so I know a couple things. I don't remember all of it, but I'm watching you and Asmongold reacting to the court with me watching. Oh, yeah. I was actually watching Asmongold watch it yesterday. You're doing great? Okay. Yeah, sustained means that an objection is basically approved and means that the person can't say what overruled means they overrule the objection as in veto the objection as in the objection doesn't matter.
What you did then.
And sustained means the objection is approved,
and
basically.
And at the hotel.
Lily Rose didn't attend the wedding, and they didn't want Amber near their grandma's bedside either. So where did she's bringing his kids? Yeah, I'm curious about the cross-examination. I want to know about the kids.
And resolve to leave him. I felt powerless. Nothing I did made a difference.
You felt pretty powerless whenever you threw that giant vodka bottle at his hand.
Please just tell us what you did, and you can tell how you feel.
Pretty powerless.
Don't go backwards, okay?
I resolved.
Wait, that was sustained? Was that the big 20?
The strength to commit to leaving him. I knew I had to. I knew nothing else would make a difference. So I got myself back to LA. New York. And started going to
two of them.
Al-Anon
Wait, there's two sustains?
every day. It's a support group for people who love addicts and alcoholics.
What, if any, communications did you have with Stephen Duders?
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor,
Duders.
This way, what, if any, communications did you have with Mr. Duders communicating on behalf
Mr.
of
Duders?
Depp?
Objection, hearsay.
I would say agency on that, Your Honor.
You have to lay a foundation for that.
Okay. All right, let's go
20.
to 229A.
Duders. The big 20. What kind of name is Mr. Duders? That must suck. We hit the 20 bomb.
And could you, without saying what the content is, can you tell us who this text message is with?
Johnny's assistant.
What's his name?
His name is Stephen Duders.
Okay. And what, if any, communication were you having with him following the Boston plane incident?
Objection, hearsay. May we approach?
All right, Ms. Wentz.
Oh my God. Is that a 21? She seemed pretty confident. I mean, that was hearsay. That was definitely hearsay, but I think she's just getting frustrated because she's like, come on, Judge. Like, what does any of this mean? Like, this doesn't even matter. I'm going to count that as 21. That, I'm pretty certain. She didn't say sustain, but I'm pretty certain that was a sustain. She's literally stun locked. Objection, hearsay, sustain. I think it's like 6 or 7 on approaches. God, I'm approaching. Oh, I'm approaching. I'm so close to the stand, I'm approaching. Look at these titles, man. Opinion. Amber Heard's riveting testimony took apart the Johnny Depp myth. That was riveting? Oh yeah, this is the part where I didn't hit him. I didn't punch him. I hit you, okay? I hit you with my fist. Sorry that I hit you with my fist and it wasn't a punch. This is a picture of Johnny Depp passed out. Which, what does that prove? That just means that he's on drugs, which we've established a billion times. But these are just pictures of him passed out. What, did she actually say that? Well, you haven't heard that part yet? Yeah, that was a while ago. when they showed that she literally said that, oh, sorry, Johnny, that I didn't punch you. I hit you, okay? I hit you with my hand, and it happened to be in a fist. So sorry. Why are you such a baby? Bro, what do you mean passed out? He's just sleeping, bro. He's just sleeping. Anybody else want to say this man has no style? Dude, they've been in the stand for a while. There was a thing about Amber Heard wearing a similar suit that he was wearing. There was like a psychiatrist saying that that is like a issue that our new PR team working hard. True. And then New York Post, Amber Heard had a PTSD from Johnny Depp's sexual abuse. Wow, Fox News, really? Amber was the aggressor in the relationship?
Did you communicate at all with Mr. Depp in the days following the Boston plane incident?
Yes, I did.
Please tell the jury about those communications.
I heard from him.
My dad falls asleep everywhere. Dad
directly.
behavior.
I
Yeah,
also
he's an
heard
old
from his
man, dude.
assistants who were texting for him.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
You're not allowed to testify about the text messages with his assistant, but can you tell the jury about your communications with Mr. Depp?
Okay. It's kind of confusing because he was texting through them.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection. I'll strike that from the record, and you'll disregard that
understand.
testimony. Please answer the question.
Just
damn.
confine to the communications you had with Mr. Depp, please.
That he was sorry and told me that he was in a blackout. He didn't remember everything.
Oh, yeah, that was
he didn't
another one.
remember he was ashamed of. He begged me to forgive him. Said he understood and forgave me if I never wanted to speak to him again. He texted me at one point and then I didn't respond right away, and he texted me again that he understood that I had made my decision to move on and good luck and I was better for it, and then continued to contact me. I spoke to him when I was in New York on the phone, and he said that he was he had a chip, or that he was going to meetings, that he I think at the time mentioned another celebrity that was kind of advising him on sobriety, or not advising him, but encouraging him, and he was saying, well, look, me and this person, we even went to a meeting. I've got 3 days sober, 4 days sober, and that was the last time. The monster will never come back. Monster will never come back. And because it felt like it felt so much worse than it had ever been before, and because I had,
Yeah, she's telling people how he's improving.
I went to New York and I was trying to get my strength to leave him. I actually thought that it kind of would be the turning point. I thought I had effectively...
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
Overruled.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I don't know what non-responsive means, by the way.
I thought things would change.
Did you draft any kind of email to Mr. Depp to express your emotions and how you felt about all this?
Objection, hearsay.
Well, let's go, also lay the foundation, Your Honor. Let's go to defendants 239.
239.
It means she didn't answer the question? Oh, okay. Answering but not answering the question. Got it.
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
And I would say both present sense impression and definitely state of mind, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
All right. So
Dude, her lawyers are not having a good day,
Did you
man.
ultimately communicate to Mr. Depp what you first drafted up in an email without saying anything about
you believe her
what's in the
stories?
email?
I
That
think
calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
they're
I'm
real
just
to an
asking if she
extent.
did.
Not what she said.
Correct.
Okay. Overruled.
Did you communicate to Mr.
I
Depp
believe that
what
the plane situation probably happened to an
you
extent,
get to say what you said?
but not, I don't know. I feel like she's not telling the whole truth.
What, if any, response did Mr. Depp have
But I feel like something did happen on the plane for sure.
that email to him?
He came to New York
And he pooped on my bed.
to fight for
Until
the
he poops
relationship
on
for
your
me,
bed, I'm not
prove
going to
he
feel
was
bad for
sober
you.
And he was committed to changing.
Did he make Dumpo? Huh?
I believed he was
Did he make
embarrassed and
Dumpo?
sorry. He said he was, and I believed him.
Poopy doopy?
So I took him back, or I got back with him. On the condition that he would uphold his promise
My sound effects are off.
to do
sorry.
the treatment, to do
That'd have
the
been
full
good right now.
detox, clean up, and never go back.
She could squeeze out a turd, but not a tear.
So I'm going to take you now up to the
Okay, that was a good
June
one.
through
was a
August
good one.
2014 timeframe. And I think you testified earlier, and others have as well, that Mr. Depp brought in Dr. Kipper and his group.
Yeah, exactly. I think Johnny
Yes,
made
he
mistakes,
did.
and he probably did some
Could you
shit,
please
but I
describe
don't
for the
think
jury
he was physically
what
abusive.
the next few months were like?
All of a sudden, this doctor gets brought on that
He's very emotional when speaking,
that we
but
had been
stoic
talking
when
about.
not.
I'd heard this name before. And all of a sudden,
He
this
turns it off and
doctor,
on.
Dr. Kipper, who apparently wrote a book on addiction and was this doctor was going to be the solution, the cure, you know, and he got brought on board, and all of a sudden, the
Do you need
plan
proof for
was
verbal
that this
abuse? Yeah, you need evidence
team would
for
be
anything
involved
in a
John's
trial.
recovery. So it felt real, it felt serious. I felt like protected. You know, I had already by this point.
And it's confusing because, sorry, I'm
In times,
force of
it
habit.
seems like a promise is to get clean and sober, but this felt like a change.
The thing I don't get is she has a billion recordings of him. A billion. Like so many, like hours upon hours of recordings of him. But there's zero verbal abuse from his side.
They needed him to finish
Yet
filming.
he is the verbal abuser and apparently physical abuser. That is the thing that's blowing my mind.
With prescription pills, including the painkillers.
He does drugs.
The plan was he would obviously abstain from alcohol completely and all other drugs like weed and coke. And then
Okay,
when
weed,
he finished
come on.
filming, the plan was to do
Objection,
the
Weed,
Your Honor.
really?
Hearsay. And lack of foundation.
I don't understand what the objection, I don't think it is. I think she was just explaining the context there. I don't think she was saying
We
what
could lay
somebody
a
said.
foundation how she knew, but it's fine.
How did you know that?
I was involved in the conversations
Okay. Please
with the
continue.
doctors and with his sister.
Objection,
And
Your Honor.
there's-
That's still hearsay.
All right, I'll
Okay,
sustain the
that-
objection.
That part is. So, what
The
happened
devil's
next
lettuce. Goddamn, man. Like, I get the cocaine.
as a
I
result
get
of
the
these
alcohol.
communications without saying what
But
the
is she
communications
really
were?
crying about the weed?
A nurse came to Boston
She just sounds like a Karen.
where Johnny was. I just would come for short periods of time in between, on weekends from filming until I wrapped my movie, which I did, I think in May.
Everyone knows if you
I
do weed, you're
am not
bad.
mistaken. And then I went to Boston.
Weed
and I was
equal
there
bad.
And saw a nurse was flown out to Boston, Debbie Lloyd, and I believe Kipper came out too. And they put Johnny on a bunch of new medications, which they shared with me, told me about.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Well, we have to be careful about what other people told you. Okay, but you can testify to what you know, okay?
Dude, Amber's so stupid, man. How is she not trained to know this shit?
I saw his medications change. I know the amount that Johnny told them he was on was so that they could maintain him for the filming, meaning not change.
Dude, even her lawyers are like, Amber, come on, like, please, just stop.
But his behavior, his whole personality changed drastically. He would be speaking to me, and at the time I was staying in Boston with him, having wrapped my movie, and he would, in mid-sentence, mid-word, fall asleep. One time I was sitting across from him, and he would come in and out of sleep, of being awake, or completely what appeared to be asleep while talking to me, and he had a cigarette in his hand, and, Johnny constantly smoked, and he just sat the cigarette, as he fell asleep while speaking, down on his leg.
The thing I don't get,
they don't stay lit.
He has a drug problem, alcohol problem.
But, it was things like that, and I didn't understand.
Why was this a surprise to her? Like, she married him.
In my family,
they got married.
Like this, and it was so dramatic.
Shouldn't she already be aware before they got married that he has these issues?
Figure out with the nurses and doctors,
like, if she had such an issue with it, why did she marry him?
What medications were causing
It doesn't make sense to me. She literally could have, if she had huge issues with his drug problems, why would she even got herself into it?
And Johnny's behavior got worse and worse, more of this passing out, nodding off.
Maybe she thought she could change him?
In the middle of the night, screaming, waking up in the middle of the night, sometimes crying. And the emotions would change from one to the next, like by the second. I remember we were on a long weekend when he was filming in Boston, and we went to this like a resort retreat hotel, and he was just bawling. It broke my heart. There was just a lot of changes, and I really didn't know.
It was those mega
I felt
pints.
so bad for him, and I thought maybe it was just what Kipper had introduced into the regime, the medications, but what I found out in that time is that he was taking about double the amount.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Was
No,
this your observation?
I saw it.
Okay, overruled.
Thank you. Please continue.
It was taking about double the amount that he told them was his normal when he started the process with the doctors. So after a few, it's, I think, months of going, what is wrong? And, turning him over when he vomited at night or checking his pulse. There were, all of a sudden, when
Johnny's laughing at you.
realized the amount was about double, I realized then he had been lying to them and me about the amount so that he could get extra high before he had a detox. But that I can't, it was such an agonizing few.
So I'm kind of confused. This just sounds like he's going through withdrawal symptoms.
I don't know how long it lasted, but I was so concerned for this.
That's why he's throwing up.
And he had just
Like he was opioid dependent, right?
doubling up his meds because he didn't.
I don't think it was the medication. I think it was the...
1092, Defendant's Exhibit 1092.
If the medication was drugs, he would feel better. Like that was withdrawals. Is that not withdrawals? Am I crazy? He wouldn't be throwing it up if that was drugs.
Mr. Depp,
I did.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 1092.
Does she not understand basic withdrawal symptoms?
Evidence? You can...
They're worse than most anything in the world, like especially
Can you
opioids.
describe what's depicted here and why you took this picture?
Thank you, Laundry.
This was during that time when the prescriptions that he was on in the doubling up of the opiates got so bad that
If he was doubling up on opiates, he wouldn't be throwing up.
And then he would take Adderall and he'd be really animated and ready to go, and then it would be
That if he was opioid dependent and is trying to get off of opiates with small doses of opioids, he took double the opioids, he would be fine.
I deeply cared about
that. Doesn't make any sense.
Well-being. And
I think that's why Johnny's laughing.
Very confusing and scary.
That was him actually suffering, trying to get off of drugs.
That Mr. Depp went into detox for oxycodines or whatever they're called.
Oxycodines.
Yes.
Oxycodines.
To do the detox, and that's what we did.
And when was that?
That would have been early August of 2014.
She doesn't even know what it's called.
We left. We were there for, I think, a week to 10 days, 8th through the 18th, more or less.
And we've heard some testimony about this, but can you please describe for the jury what took place during this detox on the Bahama Islands in August 2014?
It was, for the first few days, okay, peaceful. The nurse, and then later nurse and doctor were staying on a different part of the island.
He's got a medical degree, y'all.
By ATV, like 10, 15 minute.
True.
By one of those ATV vehicles. But we communicated via walkie-talkie and occasionally through text. And it was okay at first, and then the behavior, then it just really wasn't okay. It was up, down, he'd be mad at me, then he was wanting a hug, he cried a lot, and then he...
withdraws? That sounds like withdrawals.
Wanted to have sex a lot, which is just not like Johnny at all. And it was just like that. It was just up, down, mood, and it was like I felt like a constant was catering to the mood, that whatever he was going through at the time. I was just trying to adapt and kind of roll with it and provide support. I was taking his blood pressure. I was on a schedule and constant communication with the nurses about delivering the meds, giving him his meds at a certain time.
He's not even looked at her? Would you?
Take care of him. And a few days in, I guess the effects of the detox really started to change. And it went from this erratic behavior up and down, up and down.
Wouldn't that be good for her if Johnny had a high libido? Because he's old. And she's younger.
Yelling at me.
Corker Kitty, thank you.
I walked away from it at the table. I crossed the table in a certain way.
You think he wouldn't have much of a libido?
This table. Luckily, it was bolted down to the deck. But I remember him shaking it and screaming. And at a different point, he was really calm and sweet and thanking me.
Yeah, she does belittle him like a child. I'll admit.
He looked like he was balancing out, and we had a conversation, and he was saying he wanted to quit the detox, and he couldn't do it anymore. And I was trying to find the language to encourage him. I was trying to remind him how much he wanted.
Encourage him. You're complaining about it. You're complaining about him trying to get better.
Time I saved his life, and he wouldn't be doing this without me.
What?
I was telling him.
What do you mean encourage him? This entire time, all you've done is talk about how hard it was for you.
Please try to continue without what you said, please.
I said something to him. And
I love how Johnny's going through painful withdrawals, and all we're hearing is how I had to deal with this. It was so hard to deal with him. He was so hard to deal with. He's going through painful withdrawals. What do you mean? He's probably going through way much more than you are.
I heard that for the rest of the trip too.
It's always about Amber, though.
And I felt bad. I feel bad. Still feel bad.
Bullshit.
Didn't want to make him feel embarrassed.
Look, he's laughing.
I wanted to do it. It just was over my head. I don't know how to detox someone. I don't know how to help them through that. And I shouldn't. shouldn't have been there. You know, I don't,
Why were you there?
because he asked me to. And I didn't know that that was a
Poor girl.
phenomenally dumb idea. I don't know why.
Yo,
anyone-
Yoro, thank you so much for the prime.
No, why the doctors and nurses didn't tell me not to. I had no idea what that was going to look like or be like. And it was hell. You know, we're on an island. I'm trying to take care of him, and he was hallucinating and
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
Overruled.
screaming at me for things that I said when I didn't say any. I hadn't said anything. I would.
I
tell
feel
him,
bad, but it's his
Objection, Your
fault.
Honor, hearsay.
I think in
I'm sorry,
context,
what,
Your Honor,
why is it it's his fault that he's trying to detox?
What's it for?
It's just telling the
What?
context of.
It's his fault for asking her for help?
Please
It's his
continue
fault
and just
because
say what
he was
he
trying
says
to
and
get
what he
better
didn't
for
want your
her and for
observations.
himself, and he asked for her help, and all she's doing is complaining
accusing me
about
of
how she had to
having-
deal with it?
A man in the house with me. We
How
were in
is-
a
what?
single, you know, in a cabin? It's basically one room with a closet and a bathroom. I mean, there's nowhere.
Oh, she says it's his
hide,
fault.
Really? I mean, there's a.
Is that what
closet
you're
and a bathroom.
saying?
And he, at one point, told me that I was hiding somebody in the house.
Okay, I'm sorry. Was that 26?
Another point,
Sorry.
he
It's
was
hard to
communicating with someone
read
not in the room.
Chat sometimes and understand.
The
context.
It would yell at me and
No, I was saying she's
yell
saying
at
that.
someone
My
else.
bad.
I wasn't there.
My bad. You're good. You're good.
And I
You're
tried
good.
to ask for what I should do. I didn't know what to do. It was terrifying and strange.
No, I was saying objection here. Say.
The whole week was.
So after you left Bahamas and finished with the detox there, where did you go from there?
I know it's hard to read irony through chat. That's my bad.
We, meaning Debbie
Just
Lloyd,
end it with a kappa. All right. End it with a kappa. That'll help.
Dr. Kipper and I and Johnny, we flew back to LA, and he was going back and forth between saying he wasn't going to continue to, he was committed. It was back and forth. Everything was up, down, erratic, like
He's doodling.
changing every second. And we got to LA, and Debbie and Kipper communicated with me. I won't say what they said, but I decided it would be probably in everyone's best interest if I went away to a hotel.
I'm still confused how she's the victim if he's the one going through withdrawals. If he's the one,
Up in this room.
I don't know.
in this hotel
When you're married and you're in a relationship and someone's going through something hard
in LA,
and you turn it on yourself and act like you're the victim having to deal with their issues,
usual.
then you're a bad person.
Pull up 2
If someone, like when my wife went through depression, I was there for her every step of the way, every second, no matter how hard shit got. It doesn't matter.
And after you both returned to LA,
Because I know for a fact she's going through shit, and I'm not going through shit. I'm just here to help her. Like if someone is having a drug problem like Johnny, and you're their wife, you're supposed to be there from them. You know?
I'd like to move the admission of 272.
Any
defendants
objection?
Yes, Your Honor, to the first message. Excuse me, Your Honor, to the
You
second.
mean the response?
Right.
Yeah, she only cares about how it affected her.
Present sense of impression, but I'm understanding.
This just
your
makes her look
comments on
worse.
that. So
Did you want redacted?
can we redact that second message?
Yeah, pretty sure it says in sickness and in health, right?
All right, Your Honor,
All right. Any objection to 272 redacted?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, 272 is in evidence, and we will publish.
and Amber, I'm going to show you now what is Defendant's Exhibit 272, and this is on August 20, 2014. It's a text message from Mr. Depp to you.
All right, let's see it.
that?
Yes, I do.
Again with the text
And
messages.
just so that we can highlight here, he's calling you, he says, just to let you know that I'm fine, my angel, I miss you, of course, but this was the right thing to do to speed up the process. I love you more than life. Yours, Steve. You see that?
I do.
So what, if any, expressions was Mr. Depp giving you at this point that he was angry with you ever having to help participate with the detox or to be on the island or anything along that line?
Objection, form, compound.
I'll allow it, but just for the, trying to keep the record clear, 272
Steve?
has already been entered into evidence without that redactions, and there wasn't any objection, so I would wish
Is Steve his real
both
name?
sides to keep track of their evidence. It's not my job to keep this.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just got a note to that effect, so.
Okay, so 272 is an evidence for that. You can clear the redaction and publish it. It's really the party's responsibility to take care of the record, not mine.
My apologies on that one, Your Honor.
Get fucked. Dude, they're so unorganized, man.
All right, and I overruled the objection, so she can answer the question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, can you?
John
remind me what
Christopher
that-
Depp Jr. is his
That's
real
fair.
name.
That's fair.
Must be Steve
What,
from
if
accounting.
anything, did Mr. Depp say about that you were torturing him on the island and he didn't want you there?
Very
It always starts
confusing
with that.
for me to hear that, because even though he was hallucinating and angry at me at various moments when he would have these kind of episodes, I did nothing but try to take care of him.
Poor you.
Not a nurse. I did my best to support him.
Channel now has super thanks.
And
That's pretty
he
cool.
thanked
Oh, does
me.
it really? Oh, that's
He
cool.
thanked my mom. He thanked my dad.
It's weird that my second
And
channel got
told me,
it.
of course, I saved his life. That he would
Thank
be
you,
able to make
Unicorn.
this change without me. And that this process was horrible and hard on him and us and me. But that he was so thankful that I was there for him.
So, where is Johnny Depp being bad?
Okay, we can take this down now, Michelle.
Yeah, let me
Thank
look
you.
at it.
And I'm going to take you up to September, October of 2014. Do you remember filming Magic Mike 2 in that time frame?
Yeah,
Yes, I
Magic
do.
Mike, let's go.
And what, if any, connections did you have with Mr. Depp in that time frame?
Well, I bargained with him about me doing the role. He told me he would call the actors. It was a mostly male cast. But I bargained with him.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
That's close.
Don't say what you said, just say what he said, okay?
Yeah, Amber, you idiot. That's 27.
He reluctantly kind of
Did she
agreed
play Mike?
to me working on this movie or taking a job. He was filming a different movie in London at the time. I wasn't going to play a sexualized character. I wore no makeup or minimal makeup in the movie. No sexy clothing.
Okay.
No kissing scenes.
But
No,
let's
sex
think about this. She's going to be surrounded by dudes
Film
who are portraying strippers and are like ripped.
2014 in Georgia.
Bro, if my wife was on a movie like that, I'd be like,
Finished
hey,
this movie in
guys,
London.
keep your hands off her. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Came out,
That's
to
understandable.
pick me up in Georgia and was there for my last day or two of filming.
Like, there's beefcakes, like loaded beefcakes, a group of loaded beefcakes.
I'm going to ask you to turn
And look at Johnny
Michelle,
Depp.
can you bring up
Like, he's an okay looking guy, but he ain't beefy, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm sure he's a little bit concerned.
Did you have communications with Mr. Depp about auditioning for another role in this time frame?
What do you mean you would be
Objection,
with
Your
them?
Honor.
If I was surrounded by
The exhibit
beefcakes, I don't know if I could
hearsay.
control myself. You know what I'm saying? Like beefy Giga Chads just surrounding me. Like, what am I supposed to do? Say no?
It is
Wait,
text
that came out
exchange, Your
wrong.
Honor, so,
All right.
The
Wait.
green is Mr. Depp.
Wait a second. Wait. Let's backpedal a bit.
The one I'm most focused on is on the second page, Your Honor, the top.
Let's backpedal a little
On the
bit.
second page?
Yes.
All right, so just that text?
Based on Your Honor's rulings, yes.
Any objection to that text?
No, thank you, Your
Okay,
Honor.
if we can get that redacted.
Oh,
And while that's being redacted, Amber, let me ask you, what, if anything was Mr. Depp saying to you in this time frame? We're talking in November 2004.
can we get Johnny's lawyer to set up a stream?
about
Johnny's
you not
going
working
to town on
anymore,
that sketchbook.
not
I know, right?
taking on any more work or auditioning.
Objection, Your Honor, compound.
They're all the
I'm
same
reading.
subset.
Overruled, I'll allow it.
Thank you.
Johnny was angry with me for working. I had finished my job and I needed to eventually find another job, meaning a movie, to work on. And he was furious at me for, he found, like, we call them sides. They're just pieces of an audition, pages. And he found something that had been sent to me to consider auditioning for, and he blew up at me for, yeah, I think what he said to me is that I didn't tell him, that I didn't ask him, and that because he didn't know about that audition that I hadn't done yet,
He's playing Raid
that
Shadow
I had
Wish.
been hiding it, and was furious at me. I ended up not doing that audition, I believe. Well, there was a few, one or two in that time that I did I did audition for, and one or two that I didn't.
Yeah, she does have repeating
you to take a
mannerisms
look
about
at what is,
specific points.
Defendant's Exhibit 310.
Audition
You
for what?
recognize
Yeah, I know.
this
He's not going to
email
say.
from Mr. Depp.
Yes, it's a text.
Your Honor, I'm going to move for the admission
It's
of...
in evidence, 310.
Oh, okay.
It's evidence
Thank
with
you.
redactions, so I published it.
Please tell the jury about this text and the context.
This was Johnny's response to me apologizing for having an audition.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Is we
All right,
finally going to
now,
get some
I'm
evidence?
gonna stay in November.
I know it's
of
just a text, but-
2014.
Let's see.
And did there come a time that Mr. Depp told you that he understood that you were not going to accept any more jobs, that you were going to stop working?
Well, Johnny said this to me in
Text?
an argument in
Wait, where's the text? We didn't get to see it.
A fit of rage is the best way I can describe it, and kind of alluded to me having agreed to not work anymore, which if you don't know me, is preposterous. There's no way I would agree to that. Although I did make concessions and gave up a lot of
Objection,
these
Your Honor,
fights.
hearsay.
That wasn't,
Overruled.
thank you. Please continue.
So he reached out to other people and to me to that effect, furious at me for taking meetings. There was one in particular I wanted, one meeting I wanted to take because it was a project in development with a sci-fi writer. And I remember I wanted to take that. These things were just, they were just constant fights. But in between them, when things were
Okay.
good between Johnny and I, he would be, he would word it to me like, I'm trying to look out for you. You say that you don't want to be objectified, but you're doing it to yourself. But at first it was because I
Is
addressed
being
certain way I had
jealous
sex
a
scenes, and then
crime?
It just got more narrow and more narrow and more narrow what I could do without
That's
being
where we're
blamed
at right now.
for why the industry,
Is the only thing they got on him is he's
the
jealous.
entertainment industry, was putting me in a box and objectifying
And-
me. So it became my fault. I mean, I believed it.
That's it. He's
believed
jealous,
it.
and he
I
doesn't
adopted
like
a lot of
her
these
doing
changes
roles with
myself,
dudes
not
around.
because Johnny
It's toxic. I'll admit that's definitely toxic.
said you have to do it this
But-
way, but because
I don't
of all
know.
the other things that he said and did, I eventually found myself making decisions about my own career, about how I dressed, about how I wore my hair, how I presented, where my eyes were cast.
Well, it's
when I
not
walked
cool
into
and
a
can be
room.
bad of controlling and toxic. That's what I'm
I believe
saying.
those
It's
are my
like
own
it.
decisions.
If it's bad enough, where it
Did
like
you have more
hurts her
time
career,
in November of 2014.
It could be
that you
technically
engaged in
abuse,
some
in a way.
Couples counseling with Dr. Cowan and you and Mr. Depp.
We attempted to. I had stopped seeing my therapist at the in 2014.
this is
couldn't
the weirdest
sustain
murder
seeing
case.
her
Why are we having a trial
and
about
being in a
Amber's
relationship with
killed
Johnny,
ego?
and I chose Johnny. Eventually, Dr. Kipper introduced me to his close friend, Dr. Cowan. And I met
Maybe
with Dr.
break up?
Cowan
Okay, you
and
can't say
agreed
that.
To
Abusive
let them set
relationships aren't
medication
just,
about
oh,
my
just
care,
break
my
up, you know?
treatment. Both
It's a lot more
what I said
complicated.
to Cowan and what I said to Dr. Kipper, who had become my physician as well. He also put a nurse on me that would be my travel companion, and that travel companion would keep tabs on me and report to Dr. Kipper, who reported everything to Johnny.
Objection, hearsay. Calls for speculation.
Sustain the objection.
Okay, so tell us about the couples.
Bro, we're getting up there, man.
So Dr. Cowan, this man who is friends with Kipper, who's treating me, agreed to see Johnny and I together. And I don't know how
This woman's
many
making me
minutes
fall
of
asleep
that
with her
went
stories,
on
yeah.
Before Johnny stormed out.
Because there's not much.
Knocked something off the table on his way out and rolled a joint in the bathroom before storming out of the office, slamming the door.
That's basic.
All right.
I don't know.
so
That's
I'm
just
going to take
basic.
you
That just,
up
it's
to
not like,
December
I don't
of
know.
2014 and specifically December 17, 2000.
it's hard to say that any of this is abuse.
And I'm going to
It's such a gray area.
What, if anything, do you recall of an incident with Mr. Depp relating to Clive Barker?
Yeah, it's true. Another trait of
He was
abuse is
the
just making
sci-fi
victim feel
writer
dependent on
that I
them.
liked. Well, fantasy sci-fi writer.
They forget that this trial isn't about Johnny being emotionally abusive. Yeah, that's what I don't get.
Had
Is
a
like
dream
what
project based on a book.
Johnny
that I read
emotionally
of
abusing
this
her. What does that
author.
have to do? Are they just trying
just
to give
a
reason
weird
as to why she
genius
defamed him and saying that
artist,
it's
writer.
it's
And I had a
okay?
meeting
But this
with
is
him,
about defamation.
through another director about a piece of property he wanted to make into a movie.
Because technically she did.
And
Like if they catch her in one lie, she's
I just
screwed.
remember I believe we were at the ECB. It was in December of 2014 when
If this proves he's abusive, then it's defamation
Johnny
claims.
found out
I
that
think
I
it's
had this
if
meeting
it
scheduled.
proves that what she wrote
And,
about is real and actually happened,
furious
then
at me.
you know,
accused
it'll be
me
invalid.
Of having this
why did she poop his bed?
plan to sleep
You don't
with
poop
this-
your bed? You don't poop your
He's mad that I
significant
was
other's
taking
bed
him
when they
living
get
at
mad?
This man's house, but the man was very ill, like terminally ill, and not.
I think it depends on
able
what
to
the
leave
abuse
his bed
is.
or his home.
If
He
it's
was
just
under home
jealousy,
care
I don't know.
and, very ill, and the person who was introducing us explained to me how we had to meet, and I did, and that was a big problem for Johnny. At first, it was that he was concerned about my safety, and I thought that was sweet. And there is something that's
You said
I
SA
thought
and
was
DV,
sweet and
right?
romantic.
Wait, what do you mean?
About that? But combined with the drinking, it's
Sexual
just,
abuse and what?
It was not very long before I was
Is that what you
being
mean?
accused of full on having this other plan to sleep with the writer in order to get this part that I was already being, basically offered to develop. And it was just this, he switched from me he was accusing me of having this
Domestic
ulterior motive
violence.
with
There you
this
go.
director,
Yeah.
the director having it with me.
Yeah,
and
I believe
with
that's
this
what it
writer.
was.
And the important thing I can try to get across in this moment is that nothing I said, no amount of explaining, apologizing, accepting, not accepting, agreeing to not go, nothing worked. Nothing changed.
You notice
How mad he was at me and constantly telling me I had done something wrong to deserve what was
with
happening. So, of course,
people who lie,
he takes it too far.
they do this thing
Too
where they
hard, brings too many things in
over-explain.
the house, and then leaves, which was the pattern. And he would leave.
Because when
not
people
have
are
to
lying,
clean up.
they're sitting there, they're stuttering, they're trying to find out what they're going to say next. So it turns out that they're kind of just spouting a bunch of
The next day, he was just
continually repeating the exact same thing over and over and over, but just drawing it out and being over explanatory about everything. Yeah, they paint a picture.
Or I would get an offer to.
When people are lying, that's normally what they do, is they go on and on, they try to paint a picture, they try to over explain,
Goodbye.
when someone who isn't lying wouldn't do that. And you see her pauses, like she's trying to she's trying to think of what to say next in the I don't know.
With the sci-fi writer, I didn't want him to think
It
that I
doesn't
was
feel legit.
this slut. He said I was all the time. I mean, part of me really wanted to.
Yeah, and
believe
unnecessary details and
that
stuff.
he didn't mean those things, and I wanted to get to that part of him that would tell me he didn't mean what he said.
Yeah, they
and
think
that he
more
was
details
acting
equal more believable.
this way because he was messed up, and the cycle would repeat, I suppose.
I do
Was there
that
any
even when I'm
physical
not lying
violence
because it helps me keep my
on or
story
around
straight.
December 17,
Well,
2014.
Like it's more about the unnecessary details
Yes,
she's giving.
is the answer to your question.
You know what I mean?
I don't really remember.
Yeah, exactly.
in that
When you're not
fight.
lying, it's like a focused,
remember-
like you know exactly what you're gonna, you know what you're saying.
Afterwards, I remember how apologetic he was for it. I remember him telling me he took it too far. I remember him saying he'd never do it again. And I remember wanting to get to Christmas. Christmases are hard probably for everyone. And I remember it was close enough to Christmas that I was tired. And I wanted to be in I wanted to be in a kind, gentle, peaceful state for Christmas. I didn't want to go through a breakup at this time. I didn't want to, that's what I remember of that time.
Let's bring up Defendant's Exhibit 321, Michelle.
And she says, I remember a lot, true.
And this is on 12/17/2014.
Okay.
Is this a text message exchange between you and Mr. Depp?
Why can't we see it? I want to
Yes,
see
it
it.
is.
Your Honor, I'd like to move the admission of Defendant's 321.
Any objection?
The thing she is laying
just a
ground to
quick
why it's okay to hit your partner, I'm confused. Me too. I think they're trying to build grounds as to saying she dealt with it for so long that she finally
Your Honor, no
cracked.
objection.
All right, 320.
You know what I mean?
You can publish it, please.
She dealt with Johnny Depp's abuse for so long that she finally just like fought back.
Amber, I'm just going to turn your attention to this. This is an email exchange.
I think that's what it's
between
supposed
you
to be
and
like.
Mr. Depp, and he says, I am truly sorry to have upset you to the degree that I have. I couldn't be more sorry for yet again ruining your day. I do, of course, take your generosity, your selflessness, your affection, and your sweet doting deeply into my heart, and I think that I've been reciprocal. Agony is never the answer to
Why
any
does he write in
problem or
poetry, dude?
occasion, nor is rage. Please know that my apology is sincere and solid, and as stupid as it sounds, I hope your meeting with Clive Barker is excellent. You see that?
Yes.
Okay, and then you respond, thank you for your words, and you indicate you just left.
He's
Betty
so
Sue, that's his
cringe.
mother.
Bro, he literally speaks in poetry.
Yes, and
Who's Steve?
I then had
Is that his nickname?
a glass of wine with my former agent, Megan,
Okay.
that that afterwards.
She hit her past partner? Yeah, I heard that too.
She encouraged.
Objection, hearsay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right, and we can take that down. Let's bring up 325, defendants 325, please.
Steve from Minecraft. Dude, she is having an affair with Steve. His nickname was Steve and her nickname was Slim. Okay.
And this is an email exchange the following day, 12/18/2000.
We got to hit 30 before I end stream chat because I can't go for too much longer. Damn it. I wanted to see the cross-examination.
It's already in. Oh, it's already in, Your Honor. My apologies. We'll get that figured out at lunch.
With what redaction?
It's already in,
It's
so.
been in evidence. Does anybody over there have the list of evidence that's already in evidence?
Yes.
Okay, we're making sure.
Ours indicates it is. It's in.
It's in evidence.
Without redactions, Your Honor?
It is, it was redacted. I don't know what
Well,
it was redacted to.
The redactions don't.
Is that's how it is in evidence, Mr. Murphy? We can check, we'll check our copy.
Thank you.
We're already up to 28 sustains. We haven't had one in a while, actually.
It's fine, Your Honor. We've confirmed.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, it can be published.
Thank you.
Think Johnny's done with his drawing yet? He's perfecting it. You see him over there. Look at him. I thought the cross-examine... you think it's tomorrow? It might be tomorrow.
See it on your screen? All right, we'll take care of that during the break. If you could just share it there. Oh, get it? Okay, thank you. All right, good.
Okay, thank you. So this
Here we
is
go.
from
Here's his
Mr.
poetry.
Depp, right, says,
It's a way.
I've
I've
let
let
it
it go.
too far.
Went too far.
Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
I always regret it when I jump, or worse, when you jump. I don't want to be conditioned to continue that behavior. Therefore, I'll put in heavy work with shrink. What is your understanding of what he's referring to with shrink?
Psychologist.
Objection calls for speculation.
Did you have an understanding of what he meant?
Yes, I knew exactly what he meant.
And what did he mean?
Shrink is shrink.
What did he call shrink?
Johnny called shrinks, meaning of psychologists, therapists, shrink.
He called him shranks? That's hilarious.
I'm sorry for being less, for your disappointment in me, for my behavior. I'm a fucking savage. You see that?
Yes.
You see that?
Gonna lose that, gonna lose that.
He's
The
a
devil is all
savage.
around,
He
right?
admitted it. Lock him up.
Now, you respond to this, and of course, before you go there, and he says, I am well aware I should have been bigger at the moment, and that it will never again manifest in negative experiences. It can be done. What a killer concept to visualize. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
And you respond, I love you, I miss you already, correct?
That's
You know what's funny?
And
Like, his texts
what,
are
if
so,
anything, is
like,
that consistent with
kind
cycle that
and
you have described?
self
well,
blaming.
the language,
When has
you
Amber
use
ever
after-
blamed herself?
particularly violent.
Like, all Johnny does is beat himself up and blame himself.
Savage. Monster.
When has Amber ever done that?
devil. And so we ended up both.
He's a
on
savage. He
his
said it himself. He's a
other
devil.
side.
He's a
Other
savage.
side of
He's
Johnny
an
Depp.
abuser. He said it right out of his
do
mouth.
and say unbelievably horrible things.
Johnny types like
Very
he talks, I
different
think.
than the other Johnny.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does kind of talk like
in my
that.
opinion, exact opposite. And this is typical of the apologies that I would get when he took it too far physically. I was encouraged because I thought it meant he understood
When?
that he could really hurt me. Sometimes I didn't think he understood how much he could hurt me physically. I mean,
That
so
literally just sounded like a text where they had a
after
fight
this,
and he
I
was
remember-
beating himself up. He didn't say anything about hitting her. He didn't say anything about that at all.
Bruise. I don't remember where, but I remember what other people. Well, I can't say that what they said. So anyway,
You don't remember where your bruise was. All right.
You know,
fuck off.
Fights, I tried to stand up for myself by December 2014. I was pushing back.
Yeah, sometimes victims tend to blame themselves after fights because they only want to make it better. Exactly.
Always get back up, which sometimes, not sometimes, almost always.
You know for a fact she stares at herself in the mirror for hours. She knew exactly. If she had a bruise, she knows exactly where it is.
I would yell at him. I'd
Bullshit.
scream at him. I'd call him ugly names. So ashamed of the names we'd call each other. It was awful. It was awful. We both got into that pattern. It was so, I felt so angry that this was happening to me, and it just felt so unfair,
To her, yeah, it's about her.
Nothing I could do.
It's unfair to her.
Nothing I could do would change the sobriety patterns. Felt like nothing I could do would stand up for him, and nothing I did made him stop hitting me. Nothing.
When did he hit you? Show me.
I
need to see evidence, dude.
Maybe 2. Of just not responding physically, not responding verbally, just staring at him. I tried to freeze. I tried to go to a different place. I would try then lashing out verbally. I would try to threaten that if he hit me again, that I would call the police. The police were called several times.
Throw bottles at him. I chop off his
I
finger.
threatened to leave him, and
I poop on his bed.
And nothing was working. And I think by this point in our relationship, we're both saying awful things to each other, screaming at each other. And
what's a sustain counter? It's when they have an objection and they sustain it.
When Johnny would start hitting me, he'd just win. I'll also describe it.
You pooped on his bed.
This might be a good time for the lunch break.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take our lunch break at this time until 2 o'clock. Please do not discuss the case or do any outside research, okay? Thank you.
Damn it. All right. Is that an hour lunch break? Damn it. Are they going to cross-examine today? Chat, we almost got to 30. Of Always Sunny, where Frank basically shits the couch. When she talks, I think of what Dr. Curry said about her borderline personality disorder. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, a lot of it makes sense.
And again, ma'am, just don't discuss your testimony with anybody this time, okay? All right, thank you. So 2 o'clock?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Well, that's going to be it then, because 2 o'clock's an hour away. I gotta go. Damn it. I wanted to see more, dude.
Now it's time to walk away. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Did you laugh or cry or maybe subscribed? I'll thank you either way. You know I will miss you. I hope you return. Tell your friend or your mother to get me more views, please.